Yo, what's up? This is going to be a quick review or assessment of the Push 3. I've had this for about 2 months now. I ordered it the first day it dropped, and I got it 2 days after. So I got it on a Friday, and I think it went on sale that Wednesday. Uh, my overall review of the unit, as this one stands, I would give it an eight and a half, 8 out of 10. I have some bugs that currently slightly slow down my workflow, but overall, nothing that will make or break me right now as far as being able to create music on it. Um, what I love about the unit is that it allows me to work without the distraction of, like, say, a laptop or anything on the laptop. I feel like I'm actually creating music versus typing or copying and pasting sounds. I like the finger drum, so it's really handy and great for finger drumming. I love the pads. The pads actually I feel like have made me a lot more sensitive to how I finger drum. Um, I love the MPE uh, feel. At first, I was like, nah, I'm not really feeling MPE. I have other MPE devices that really are just more gimmicky. That I feel like I'm not controlling the actual note bin. And those are older devices. I know that it's gotten better over time. So I love the MPE feature on this. I also love the fact that you can use it in conjunction with other MIDI controllers. So, say if you're more comfortable with using keys on the to create music, then you can use something like the MPK Mini Plus, which is what this is, and have access to other parameters and features that the MPK Mini Plus has. That, say the Push may not be able to replicate with just the pads. Also, like using the Akai uh, APC40 MK2, because this allows me to clip launch, switch tracks, mix via the entire APC40 unit. I also love this crossfader, and I'm still not sure why Ableton has neglected to put the crossfader advantage onto the Push unit. I feel like the crossfader can have a lot of different features or effects having it accessed on the Push 3, such as you can mute multiple tracks at one time. You can crossfade between different clips depending on what side of the crossfader it is assigned to, A or B. But anyway, uh, yeah, I love the fact that you can expand it with MIDI controllers. And some of the downsides that I'm finding out with this unit in particular is I have issues with it dropping MIDI whenever I go to another MIDI clip that's already been created. It won't read it until I go to clip view and then go back to note view, and then it'll work. So let me give you a demonstration. And also, at the same time, explain what I also like about the Push 3. So, like, I have an empty MIDI track right now that I just went to, this yellow track. And if I want to add a track onto it, I would just hit that swap button. It looks like two arrows chasing each other. And then I have assigned my favorite sounds or my favorite presets to collections, and I go to collections hitting this button. You can't really see it because it's kind of dark right now, but I hit the dial, and I go to favorites. And then it will have a list of all the different instruments that I like to use. I'm gonna use this Batu kit just to explain what happens when I use the MIDI clips and I switch between tracks on the Push 3 in particular. It doesn't do the same thing on an external MIDI device, but it does do it on the Push 3. I think it's a bug related to the Push 3. So I voted that track with a clip or a drum track, a drum rack. So if I get out of that drum rack, as far as the swap button goes, then I'll have my sounds on that drum rack. So say I went to another MIDI instrument. Now this one doesn't have anything assigned to it, so I would go again to swap if I want to switch it out, and then just choose the instrument I want to choose. So if I go back to Batu kit, it's not making any sound. This is the error I'm trying to explain. So I have to go to clip, view, and then back to the instrument, and now I have the sound again. So that's a bug that's within the unit. Another downside is that I can't power my Mini Nova via the USB natively on to the push 3. So if I connect this directly to the push 3 via USB, it should theoretically be able to at least power the unit, and then I will plug in my ins and outs from my Mini Nova into my push 3 or anything that I might have that's receiving the sound. And so as it stands, I have to use an external adapter to power the Mini Nova on. Normally with the laptop or even like another device like even the Teenage Engineering OP1, it'll be able to power the Mini Nova via the USB, but for some reason the push 3 is not giving me enough current to power the Mini Nova, even when the push 3 is plugged in, so that's kind of strange. But what I do love about the push 3 is that its ability to gather audio, like say you want to record your guitar, your keyboard, or any other standalone device or instrument into the push 3. It's fairly easy. It's really almost like crazy easy to do anything as far as audio is concerned when recording into it. And they have the ability to edit the audio if you want to make it a sample, or if you want to rearrange the audio to like fit the time or tempo of the actual track that you have in there already. You're able to do that fairly easily. I love the editing capabilities and the abilities to add effects. Everything's so handy using this unit. Very user friendly, I would say, if you have experience using Ableton. Now, if you don't, I would highly recommend to have someone that's familiar with Ableton, a certified trainer even, to walk you through the ins and outs. There's plenty of tutorials, but without a tutorial, you might have an extensive setback trying to understand this, because there is a lot of parameters, a lot of buttons on the controller that if you're not familiar with them, or if you don't take the time out to at least explore them and try to understand them, then you're going to be lost and probably frustrated and want to move on. I know when I first started using Ableton, I started on Ableton 8, and this was when they just started using controllers, of maybe the APC MK1 and the Push 1 and 2. I have had the Push 1 and 2. I had the Push 1 for a very short time, because after I had the Push 1, they came back and released the Push 2, and I was just never a big fan of the Push 1 when it first initially dropped. I thought it would be more advantageous to my workflow, but it didn't work out. I ended up getting the Push 2, trading it in for something cheaper, and also to pay down bills. And then so I went and bought a used Push 2. It worked for a short amount of time and then didn't work, and so there was nothing I can do to return it. So I ended up, just moving away from Ableton as far as working with it for a while and experimenting with different other avenues for music making, such as the iPad, the MPC Live, the SP404. So, if a window closes, or if the door closes, a window opens up. So when they dropped the Push 3, at that point I was a very standalone kind of guy. When I say standalone, I like to have the entire unit within the box and not have to deal with a computer. So That's one of the things I love about the Push 3 is the Push 3, it mimics everything that you can do on the laptop, or for the most part, a lot of what you can do on the laptop directly into the unit. So you can edit audio, you can record, you can make on full on tracks. The I tend to work in clip mode, so I don't have a problem with not having the arrangement mode. I know some people do have an issue with not having an arrangement mode on there. Also, um, what else? The price point is a little high for most people. I think it's fair, although I do think they should have at least bundled a special edition Ableton versus just giving you intro with Ableton, especially when you're spending so much on the controller. You want to have people perceive like there's some value added when getting a controller that is a little bit more than your previous models. But overall, I would say this would be a great addition to anybody that's experienced using Ableton. It'll speed up your workflow, make you think differently on how to produce tracks. And I know for myself, I am definitely been changing up my workflow due to the different avenues and different aspects of Ableton. Uh, like I said, I would just need that MIDI fixed as far as switching MIDI tracks and not having it drop out, and then also being able to power this MIDI Nova via USB. Like I said, this is one of the first units that was available, and so I wouldn't be surprised if this one maybe had some hiccups that a lot of units don't. But I haven't seen anywhere where they are saying that MIDI is dropping out or that they're having issues with having instruments plugged in via the USB. So, but otherwise, I mean, it's a dope product. I love it in conjunction with the SP404. We use that as a sound module, MIDI module, audio interface. I love the fact that you can expand it via ADAT. I can go on and on about this unit. I think it's a great piece of gear. Some people kind of missed out on it for like trying to get rid of it so soon, and some people, you know, if it doesn't fit your workflow, why waste your time trying to understand a new workflow? Or if you don't have the financial means to do it, don't kill yourself trying to afford something that's not within your means. But anyway, if you found this video useful or informative or something to evaluate whether you want to get the unit or not, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you're interested in learning about as far as with the Ableton Push 3 or even any other software. Don't be shy. I hope you found this helpful. Take it easy. Peace.